Okay, hi guys. I'm going to do a quick get to know you, or get to know me. I'm Asher. I live in Canberra, Australia, and I love outdoor adventures, photography and filmmaking, videography, pretty much anything to do with outdoors and taking videos and pictures. I'll answer some questions that I found that kind of allow you to get to know me a bit better. So the first question is, where did you grow up? So I originally am from the Netherlands, a small town called Bolsward. And now I live in Canberra. I moved to Australia and to Canberra when I was 6, and I've lived here ever since with my family. And Canberra's been brilliant. It's it's surrounded by mountains, so you always get to go out and explore no matter what. You've also got the ocean less than 2 hours away, depending on traffic. And yeah, it's been pretty awesome. What year were you born? I was born in June 2000, and yeah, I'm 21. Are you in, or have you gone to university? So I'm currently in my first semester of my third year at university, and I'm studying a Bachelor of Business Marketing with a breadth major in Marketing Communications, which has been quite interesting because it's not exactly what I expected, but it's something that I really enjoy, and I think that I can use it in other aspects of my life. Ooh, what are your life goals? I don't know, like, I'm a very simple person, so I'd probably say be happy, enjoy life. I don't really have any nailed on specific goals, just because I feel like they kind of limit you in what you want to do. So I feel like being able to expand on certain aspects of my life to make myself happy is more important than just specific, like a career goal. I don't really want to put numbers or put a goal out that I don't really want to achieve. Have any books you read changed your life? I don't know about changed my life. I know some books have definitely changed my perspective on things. Have definitely challenged my perspective on things. And there have been books that have really inspired me to follow what I really enjoyed from those books. So for example, there's a book called, it's by Patagonia's founder Yvon Chouinard, and it's about how he built his company up and how each aspect of his business operates. So it was talking about how they market and how they operate the human resources side of things, and it's super interesting and a massive insight into how someone who enjoys sustainability and fights for sustainability really made his company a sustainable company rather than pushing it forward in an unsustainable way. And then there was a second book, and it's called The Resilience Project by Hugh van Cuylenberg, and it was more, rather than a self-help book, it was more a biography, but it kind of resonates a lot with people, especially being so lucky to live in a country like Australia. You definitely feel some of those stories, and I've definitely felt some of those stories from my travels and how they've impacted me, and then I've heard them from someone else, so that kind of really challenged me. Who are your favourite YouTubers? Now this is a good question. I used to be a massive fan of a YouTuber called Ben Brown. He still creates films, but not the style that I really enjoy. So like all his vlogs, and that he used to bring out Visual Vibes, which are pretty incredible videos, more so visual than having really any compelling story, but those visuals definitely told their own story. Who else would there be? I'd say there's a couple more YouTubers, but like it's kind of difficult because they're a bit older and I've been struggling to find new YouTubers. But I'd also say, in some ways, say Cara and Nate, just the level of quality that they put into their videos, and they're constantly traveling, so it kind of shows me exactly what I want to see, and they have that high quality. Sometimes the episodes aren't exactly what you want to watch, but they're always interesting, or there's something that makes you want to watch them. Do you speak any languages, and how well? Well, originally being from the Netherlands, I can kind of get away with some Dutch, but not a crazy amount. I can say, hello, how are you? So, hello, hoe gaat het met jou? But really it isn't something I've kept practicing, especially my dad didn't want to do it with us. So yeah, but I definitely think I'd want to continue learning, well, get my Dutch up to speed and then possibly continue learning another language. It'd definitely be helpful. What are your morning and evening routines? So my morning routine at the moment is get up and then go for a walk, roughly an hour and a half long walk, considering we're in lockdown at the moment. And then after that I'll eat breakfast and then clean my teeth and then, yeah, get on with my day. And my evening routine really depends. Like, it could be a Zoom call with someone at the moment, or it could be editing photos, videos, or even just watching Netflix. It's not really a routine at the moment, but I'm hoping to get my routine kicked back up. What is your favourite ice cream flavour? Oh, that's a tough one. I think in the grand scheme of things, if it's just chocolate, strawberry or vanilla, I'd have to go with vanilla. But if we're going crazy flavours and different flavours, I'd definitely say like pistachio is a really good one, or even ones with cherries. Ones with cherries are really good. What is your favourite sports team? So even though I'm in Australia, I don't really like AFL, NRL. I do enjoy a bit of cricket, but I don't follow it that much. But I do watch the English Premier League, and my favourite team is Arsenal. And yeah, they've been a bit up and down at the moment, but at the moment it seems like we're getting a bit better, which is always good. Okay, how many countries have you travelled to? So I actually have an app for that. Let me just check. So I have been to Austria, Belgium, Croatia, England, France, Germany, Italy, Luxembourg, obviously the Netherlands, and this app counts the Vatican as a country. And then in Asia, I've been to Brunei, India, Malaysia, Singapore, South Korea, the UAE, and then obviously Australia. So yeah, a fair bit of travel. Obviously with COVID I haven't been able to get out and explore. I did have a trip planned to Vietnam and Cambodia, but obviously it got cancelled, so I just used that money that I got refunded luckily and went up to Cairns for 2 weeks and did a van trip for 2 weeks. And that, I'll actually link that video in the comments because it was one of my favourite trips that I've done, and it was just so, like, you just felt so free, and there weren't as many tourists as there normally would, so it definitely felt a lot less crowded. Ooh, what social media are you addicted to? I'd say, I wouldn't say I'm addicted to it, but I definitely really enjoy watching YouTube. Like, YouTube for me is inspiring, and I get so much like creative sparks from YouTube. Like, I want to go out and create content that's similar to other people, but I also want to create my own spin on that content, and I feel like YouTube is one of the best platforms to do that. Yeah, you're not going to grow as quickly, but once you start growing, you're definitely going to keep growing. And I'm not doing it for the growth. I love creating stuff, and I never used to love creating stuff, but ever since the trip that I did to Borneo, I've wanted to create and learn new stuff, especially with cameras, and just creating video and photos have been pretty awesome for me. But then also, I don't know, Instagram and TikTok are equally as addicting. Like, they're not, for me, I'm not crazy addicted to it. Like, it's fun to create content on TikTok, so it's a bit of an outlet, and it's a different style of creating video. And then Instagram, I don't really post that often just because it got really tedious, but an occasional post will happen, and I still keep track of people that inspire me on there. What time is your bedtime? It's a weird question, but like anywhere between like 10:30 and probably 11:30. I try to get to bed just so I can wake up at the right time, or else if I go to bed late, I'll always wake up late, and it's not fun for me waking up late. Have you ever written a blog post, and what was it about? So I do actually have a blog link down below. A couple of blog posts just on trips that I've done and how I got into photography, videography, which since about 2015 has been a massive interest of mine, but before that it wasn't. And that blog post actually explains why I wanted to, why I got into photography and videography, and also what like overall the inspiration that I had from it. If you could live anywhere, where would it be? I don't know. I love Canberra just because it's surrounded by mountains, but I feel like I want to live somewhere which has mountains and ocean right next to each other. So I've seen a lot of videos from Cape Town, and it seems like they've got the perfect package. They've got incredible coastline, and then right next to the city there's mountains that border. They might not be the highest, but because they're from sea level, they actually are quite prominent. And I feel like that location would be incredible to create content, because you've got the ocean to create content with, and you've got the mountains, and then you've got city views from those mountains. So yeah, Cape Town would definitely be a dream kind of place to live. And following on from that question, if you could live in a city or the country, where would you choose? I feel like I'd prefer to live just outside of a city. I do really enjoy cities and the convenience that they offer, but I also really enjoy being out in the country, but especially I think in the country on the coastline, like that is like perfect. That is like the perfect location for me to be based. Like I was talking about Cape Town, and it's a city, but it's not a mega city, and I don't really like massive cities. Like I'm not a massive fan of Sydney and Melbourne, because for me they're too big and too busy, and I'm not a massive fan of busy cities. What is on your bucket list? That's a tough question, because I don't really have a bucket list per se. I have a list of things that I really want to achieve and what I want to do, but they're not really bucket list items. They're more things that I just want to do, and they're things that have either inspired me to do other things, or that have some sort of meaning to what I want to be achieving. And I feel like a bucket list, yeah, it's cool, but with a bucket list, I feel like it's putting too much pressure on you to do it. And I feel like that's where it hits some people, is like they reach the age of 50, 60, 70, and they haven't achieved what's on there. And I feel like when you go from that, at that age, and you see some of the things that you could have done but you didn't do because they're on a bucket list for you to do in the future. And I feel like you shouldn't be looking that far in the future. You should be trying to do those things when you're able to do them, not hoping that in 60 years time, well, not 60 years time, but when you're 60, that you'll have the money to do it. I think you definitely want to experience stuff and not save money to wait for those experiences. And yeah, I think that's it. Like that was really quick, easy, and I hope that allowed you to get to know me a bit more. I'll link a couple of things down in the description for you, so just down there. And yeah, it's been great to talk to you guys, and I hope you have a great day. See ya.